Hello, my name is Remy Clarke. I work at Yapiko as an animator. So basically, I often have quite complex TVPaint scenes because I like to work non-destructively. Fortunately, I have a lot of color, so I can tell what parts are what layer. This red area is the D layer, and D happens to be on this layout, and she's reflected into the mirror. So I actually have what they call a book or an overlay right here. In the mirror, you see her, and that's her reflection, and she's brushing her teeth at the moment. So when you do the rough animation, there actually isn't all these different parts here. Here we've actually colored in the different areas, and that's normally done at the what's called the yen step or the tie down. You have one layer, or at least animation-wise, for each character, which is also mirrored. So that's 4 layers, and you've also got the OL, the overlay here, and the background behind it, and I've got all the notes. So the scene's quite complex, and it took a little while. And of course I got the pan too. The advantage here is that, as you can see, despite how heavy this scene is and how many images are actually in it, with the pre-rendered playback, I can actually watch it in real time at 24 frames per second. So that's great. They sent me a corrected timesheet. So these are actually what I said earlier. When I said that she was on the D layer, she's right here. And actually you can tell, that's D and this is A, and so basically you know that A and D are the same layer because they actually have exactly the same keys. So this is the layout I sent them, with the background separated, and this is my original drawing that I sent them, and then here's the enshutsu, which is sort of make sure that the mise-en-scène works, the first animation director's corrections, and here's the most likely the designer, but basically the head animator's corrections, and they did that for almost every one of my drawings. So you have to think that these are all going to have to get imported into TVPaint, and because it's on paper, here we can't really tell too easily, but if I zoom up, you notice that they have peg holes, and all these peg holes, they have to line up, and unfortunately they don't actually all line up perfectly. But fortunately with TVPaint you can actually line up all the holes using the peg function. And so basically I got all these corrections and all these changes that I had to make. That ended up basically doubling the number of images I had actually made. Fortunately in Japan, because they're going to get cleaned up by someone else on paper later, I didn't have to reorganize the whole file. I just had to make sure I had corrected all my drawings. So what I did then is I made a new TVPaint file where I imported everything. So basically here, this is all the drawings that were in that file. And you can actually tell, like, the different colors mean that it's a different person who made changes. This blue here might look silly, but essentially I would add blue lines as I finish the drawing. That means that as I finish drawings, I know that how much I got done. And basically at the end, I'm just going to slow this down because I know it's a lot faster than the actual animation. This isn't going to be animating at the proper speed or the right timing. It's just going to give you an idea of what the actual finished animation looked like, and there might actually still be changes, but I think this is most likely quite close to what's going to be in there at the end. It took a while. I mean, I'm new to working in Japan and working in general, and I'm slower than I probably should be, but I'll get better at it. And particularly because this scene had the characters that were mirrored, I had to make sure that the actions on the foreground and the background matched each other, and you got essentially 4 characters in the scene. It took me a couple of days, and doing the corrections took me probably another day or two. And but yeah, I think it turned out pretty well, and I'm happy with it. I can't wait to see it in color.